93% of people in the UK are actually shopping for the groceries in the wrong way, and it's costing them an absolute fortune. Then there's Julie. I read about Julie, and she is shopping like the 7%. She's cracked the code, and what she's done with her food bill will absolutely shock you. So Julie spends just a fraction of what most people in the UK do. So the typical average 4-person household will spend somewhere between £550 and £600 in a month on food. That's the equivalent of £7,000 a year. Just a little bit more. But Julie's bill is so tiny, she has managed to pay off her debt, pay off her car, pay off her house, and she's actually gone down to a part-time job because then she can spend more time with her family and her grandkids. And she is not some millionaire with a private chef. She's just a regular person like you and me who has cracked the code and figured out how to play the supermarket game so that it benefits her and so that she's still eating well, she's still having a great life. She's just doing it in the most cost-effective way. She has figured out the supermarket game system, and what ultimately her secret is that she treats the supermarket like a strategy game. Where we might see aisles of temptation, she sees opportunities. And the rest of us, well, we're the ones that are funding those supermarkets' high profits. So how and what can we learn from Julie? I will link the video for you up here as well, so you can check this out, because this is honestly, it's a real thing. And she's like, made such a big deal about it, and everyone's sort of pulling their ideas from her, and I just thought it was worth sharing. So one of her biggest secrets is something that she calls the super duper sales. And there are two kinds to this one, two different sections to it. So first up is something that I've talked about before on this channel. It's something called loss leaders. So supermarkets know that quite often they need to have a hook to draw you in and get you interested in shopping in the supermarket, because ultimately, there are several major players in the supermarket, but they've got to have a reason for you to go to them. And one thing that they do is called a loss leader. You might particularly notice around the Christmas and Easter time, when most supermarkets now will practically throw veg at you for free. Come in, you can get this for 5p. Come in, you can get your cauliflower for 10p. Come in, you can get your potatoes for 10p. It's those things. Those are the loss leaders, which ultimately mean they are going to lose out on money by practically giving them to you. But what that actually in effect does is means that you are in the store. You are in the store, and therefore, naturally, you are going to say, well, I'm getting all these great things for pennies, and I'm going to continue and stay in this store and do the rest of my shop. And this is where you need to be able to flip it on its head. These discounts, think Aldi's Super 6 Veg, Lidl's Pick of the Week, or when Tesco slash the milk, the bread, the chicken breast, the silly prices. These are the things they're not making money on. So what they will make money on is those 10 other items that you are then going to grab whilst you're there. But Julie will only buy the loss leaders. She's going to walk out with that 79p broccoli, the 69p tomatoes, and the 99p loaf of bread, and that is it. And that discipline is what can save you hundreds of pounds. The second element to this, the other super duper saver, is the markdown section. Look, we all know about the fabulous yellow sticker section, the whoopsie section as it's sometimes favourably known. Those packets of minced beef sliced from £5 to £1.50. Bakery items freshly baked in store at the start of the day are down to 20p at the end of the night. Most of us stumble upon them by accident. We will go in the supermarket with our plan, then just happen to notice that, really, I've got a bargain, I've got, some cakes that have just gone out of date for 10p, and you'll feel really pleased about it. That wasn't what you'd gone in for, but it is a bonus. It's like a B-side of what you've gone in for, and it's great. It's like an extra kind of reward, isn't it, when you come across these things? It's like a little mini surprise. But Julie knows the schedule. She knows Tesco tend to reduce the bakery around about 6 o'clock. She knows the meat will start to go down around about 7 p.m. She knows that M&S get really ruthless with their markdowns just before closing. And the other kind of little thing that she does, and whether you take this with a pinch of salt, is that she kind of almost befriends, the staff with her. She gets to know the baker, she gets to know the butcher. She becomes friendly with them, not antagonistic, not like stirring them out until they're putting yellow stickers on. She just has a nice little bit of a chat with them. And because she's having that chat, and because she's building that relationship, she kind of gets that inside of knowledge of when those yellow stickers are about to be put on. She isn't getting lucky, she's planned it. Now here is the second part of her genius. It is reverse meal planning. It's something else I've touched on quite a few times on here. Whenever I am having a really pulled back kind of week or month, I will always revert to reverse planning. And honestly, the impact this can have on anyone's budget is so significant. So most of us start with a recipe. Oh, tonight I fancy spaghetti bolognese. So I'll buy the mince. I'm going to buy the onions, buy the pasta, buy the tomatoes, buy all the other ingredients that goes into the recipe that you're in the mood for. That locks you into full price shopping. You have already committed to that recipe. So regardless of how much it's costing, you're going to go and buy those ingredients. If it happens to be on sale, that's brilliant, but it's not the be all and end all. If it's not, you're still going to buy those ingredients. Julie will do the opposite. She looks at what she's got at home, maybe, a bag of potatoes, some tins, and then maybe at those lost leaders or what is cheap today. Reduced chicken thighs, perfect. 10p carrots, yeah, we'll have those, because that is a casserole and a soup started. She builds meals around bargains rather than building bargains around the meals. And this, in effect, kills two birds with one stone. She's spending less and she's wasting nothing. There's no slimy bags of spinach at the back of her fridge. There's no courgettes gone mushy because you had so many good intentions, but you didn't quite bring yourself to eat it. Everything she buys has a meal attached. So why is Julie different? How is this working? Well, Julie isn't falling for the supermarket psychology, for one. Supermarkets have spent millions on investigating human behavior, investigating marketing concepts, looking at our habits, our spending habits, the things that encourage us to spend a bit more. This isn't new stuff. We know this. We're quite clever. We've caught onto this by now. However, we are still falling for those little mini traps. That fresh bread smell as you walk in, that isn't kindness. They aren't putting it there so that your nostrils can just enjoy the sensation of fresh bread as you walk around. That's marketing. Eye-level shelves, that is where the expensive stuff goes. The kid-level shelves, pure sugar and chocolate. Those buy one, get one deals. Yes, sometimes they can be great, but 9 times out of 10, they're not saving you money. They're actually making you buy double of what you needed. Julie will walk straight past it. She is not letting Tesco or Asda dictate what meals she's going to eat. She's got a plan. She's sticking to it. Now, can every one of us shop like Julie? Let's be real. No. Julie doesn't have kids that she's got to travel around with a supermarket with and who are going to be pulling at her at every last nerve and also being privy to all these supermarket games that they throw in there. She lives near the shops, so she can pop in daily, which is an advantage that we don't all have. She can go in regularly to check those markdowns and making sure she's getting the most at the right key cost time. Most of us, though, we don't have the time or the patience to do that. But here's the thing. You don't need to go full Julie to win. Even copying just one of her strategies could actually save you a fortune. So what are the fixes that you could do? How can you join that smart 7% down the reduced aisle? Number one is to check those lost leaders. There's absolutely nothing stopping you from taking advantage of those lost leaders. And well, you should. Aldi, Lidl, Tesco, they advertise those lost leaders on the front page of those flyers, and those are what you should be planning your meals around. Take advantage of what is on the offer and plan your meals accordingly. You might not be able to save on everything, but they could be the cusp just for that week of, the main bit of your meals. Time your yellow sticker runs. Plan your food shop around when those yellow sticker labels go out. If you're not sure, ask the staff, because they'll probably tell you 9 times out of 10. They usually guide you at least the kind of whereabouts time, and also the location of where they're going to be putting those yellow sticker items out. Make sure you're going then and not just randomly on your way home from work or when you've got a few free minutes. You can reverse meal plan at least once a week. It doesn't have to be 7 days a week. You can think, I've worked hard and I want to make sure I'm eating what I enjoy, but at least one night of the week, you can use the ingredients that you've already got in to make another meal. Number 4 is to stick to a strict list. Be honest with yourself, go in almost like a contract. This is what I've got to go and buy. There's nothing else. If you do deviate off it, then, be honest with yourself and say, like, these are luxuries. These are things that I wasn't planning on buying, but, I'm going to have to find somewhere in my budget for them in retrospect. Number 5 is to play the loyalty card. So by this is take advantage of those points that you can earn, but don't buy things just because of the points, because that's not necessarily going to help you win. 6 is to swap down a tier brand. Basics like pasta, rice and beans, there's no reason why they shouldn't be the most basic value item that is possible to purchase. Most of them, honestly, taste the same, especially when it's put with other ingredients that's going to elevate it anyway. Number 7 is to cook and freeze. If you manage to grab, say, some yellow sticker meat and batch cook it, use it for a chili or a curry or whatever else, and then freeze it. And then you've got that meal put away to one side. And also, because you cooked it straight away, it's absolutely fine to keep hold of. Now, it's value and it's not waste. Number 8 is to reduce the amount that you shop. You need to be shopping once, not 2, 3, 4 times in a week. The more times you go out to the shop is more opportunities for temptation. And overall, one big weekly shop is absolutely cheaper. If you are feeling like, I need to pick something else extra up, then you either look for an alternative or you literally just go in for that item and you've just got to go in with your blinkers on. You've run out of the milk, which is kind of an essential item because you use it all the time, all day. Just go in. And if you struggle with that, I would say go in with like just £2 in your pocket, leave your card behind, leave your phone behind, whatever else it is that you can easily tap with. If you've only got the cash in your hand, that means that you can only afford to buy the one thing that you have got in for. You can't be tempted in any other way. Number 9 is to have a leftover night. Julie doesn't waste. She plans one night a week to empty that fridge out and make sure everything's being eaten, consumed, or put into something else that she's going to cook for another day or put into the freezer. So she's still got an empty fridge at the end of it. Final thing is to know your weak spot. I am absolutely key for this because I am a sucker for, your hormones playing up. You've had a rubbish day. You've had a hard week. It is a Friday. And I'm quite easily led by those kind of thoughts. If you are similar, your chocolate, wine, crisps are the key thing to blowing your budget, then name it and plan around it. Put it into your budget. Don't think, I'm going to have an amazing week. I won't be buying that bottle of wine on a Friday. I'm going to be really good. But why do that to yourself if typically you're going to buy that bottle of wine anyway? Plan it in. Look forward to it and enjoy it, and don't feel guilty about it. Just look in other places where you're going to sacrifice or reduce something else so that, you've earned it. It's your money. You deserve to enjoy it. Don't deprive yourself to the nth degree that you feel like you're missing out, because the odds are, if you're in that situation, you are not giving yourself the occasional treat, you're not planning it in, you're going to fail. So what might this look like in practice? So let's say Julie's neighbour, she goes out and does a typical shop and it's 95 quid for the week. She's got a plan, but also she's done a couple of impulse buys, spotted some deals, grabbed those, put them in the trolley too. Julie will do hers, goes out on the same day. She grabs herself 2 of the lost leaders, 3 yellow sticker bargains. She plans her meals around a pantry, around a freezer, around a cupboard. She swapped branded pasta sauce for Tesco's on. Her bill, £72. That's a difference of 23 quid saved. Multiply that by 4 weeks, that's around about £1,200 for the year saved. Same family fed, but a different approach. So tell me, are you going to be going shopping just like Julie, or are you going to be just like the other 93%? Be honest, is your weak spot the yellow stickers, the bog-offs, or simply just walking down the aisles when you're hungry? Tell me in the comment section, what is your weakness, and I'll try and share some fixes as best as I can. And it's not me, there are some fantastic people in this community who are brilliant at sharing their ideas and sharing the tips and tricks, and I know they're all there to support you as well. And if you have found this useful, I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead, give it a thumbs up, a like, and maybe consider subscribing so I can continue to make videos just like this one for absolutely free, because every pound that you don't spend at the checkout is a pound towards making yourself an even better life. Have yourself an amazing day, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.